TD Ryan Unleashed is brought to you by Scott Zyman, your State Farm insurance agent. Scott can help you save money bundling your home and auto insurance. Call 815-748-3101 or stop by at 2587 Sycamore Road, Suite D in DeKalb. Like a good neighbor, Scott Zyman and State Farm are there. Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more at 824 West Lincoln Highway in DeKalb. For delivery or pickup, call 815-758-8116 or go to pizzavilla.com. My Insurance Guys in Sycamore, family owned, local, reliable. My Insurance Guys cover Medicare to auto and everything in between. Call us in Sycamore at 815-899-0950. My Insurance Guy, business, auto, home, life, and health at myinsuranceguy.com. And Eldercare Services of DeKalb County, safe, secure, and supported, helping you stay at home where you want to be. Call 815-758-6550 or stop in at 1701 East Lincoln Highway in DeKalb or on the web at ecsdekalb.org.
Welcome into TD Ryan Unleashed. Sports bonus number 3. Sports bonus number 2, we just interviewed Coach Joe Ryan, of course, longtime coach at Sycamore High School. And, of course, we had Ethan Storm, who signed with the Tampa Bay Rays there in Sycamore. Well, we're talking DeKalb right now, and we got with us Peter Goff, the DeKalb High School Athletic Director. Pete, how you doing this morning?
Doing really well.
Thank you for taking time to talk. You brought a very special person with you today. Who'd you bring with you today,
everybody?
I
brought our Illinois recruit, Davon Grant, and he'll be heading off to Champaign-Urbana right after the semester. So we were sad that he wasn't able to play basketball, but we understand with the new wave college athlete how they like to get their kids down on campus. We totally understand, and we would never ever want to stand in his way.
Well, Davon, welcome, and thank you for taking time this morning, my friend.
No, thank you for having me out.
Legit, two-time Daily Chronicle Boys Player Athlete of the Year, scored over 1,000 points with the DeKalb basketball team, won many championships. All-time DeKalb record for most catches in the football and career and most receiving yards, a 3-star athlete. I saw that 3-star athlete. What does that mean, Davon, 3-star athlete? What?
It's just the ranking.
So ranking is at a 1 to 5? Or?
Yeah, out of 5.
Okay.
It doesn't really mean much to me.
Are you happy with the 3, or do you care?
I don't really care. I feel like I most definitely feel like I'm better than a 3-star. But
okay.
It's just the ranking. So
they'll find out, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, very good.
Actions speak more than words.
Yeah. And as Pete alluded to, he'll be playing a school of football at the University of Illinois next year. You graduated. I want to talk about you're a student athlete, Davon. First, you graduated early in January. Tell us about that. Why are you graduating early? And it sounds like you did some extra work there.
I'm only graduating early because I want the best possibility to start early as a freshman. Just to put me in a position that I could have the most success as soon as I get up there.
Okay, and making sacrifices already because you're sacrificing your senior year in basketball. Was that a hard decision to make there?
No. It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't a hard decision, but these past few days, I most definitely been feeling it. Like, man, I could really be playing with these guys. But,
and how about what do you study? What do you want to study? Are you still kind of general studies now, or are you narrowing it down?
I know I'm gonna have a communication minor.
Okay,
but the major, I'm bouncing between sports management and medicine.
That's smart. You can combine the two, couldn't you? That's great. Well, don't start podcasting yet, though. I don't want you to start doing that. But playing 2 sports is a great quote from your basketball coach, Mike Reynolds, that says, quote, talking about you, like a lot of guys, high school is one chance you have to do everything. He's done that well. He's a great teammate. He's a true multiple sport athlete because he puts time into everything. He doesn't just show up when the season starts. He plays and continues to get better. As good, and this is from 2004, as good as he is this year, I think he'll grow in both sports. So how did you divide that up, Davon, with the basketball and the football?
When it was football season, that's the primary focus. But whenever I have free time, I'd like to go out and just have fun with basketball, and then vice versa with when it was basketball season.
Okay, now so many of us were thrilled that you decided to play both sports because we see so many times now where an athlete will just pick the one sport and go to camps all year round and stuff. Why did you do that? Why did you decide to play 2 sports?
Because it just kept me occupied, to be honest. But I loved both sports equally, and then the older I got, the more I bounced between the both sports. But, I just decided both sports was the best thing because it kept me occupied, kept me in shape, and just did everything right for myself.
Yeah, I saw a great quote from you in the paper here. It says, since I was a young age, I played football and grew to love it. It kind of died down ever since, and I started playing basketball. But I realized I can really do much physical-wise with basketball like I can with football. That's why I really opened my eyes. Yeah, football is my sport. So you really did some thinking about this, didn't you?
No, yeah.
And And Pete, what was it like to have an athlete like this that playing the two sports where he easily could have just taken the one?
Well, that's what you like to see because statistics show the busier you are, the better you are, and the higher graduation rate, and you don't get in a lot of trouble. And that's what's really great about Davon is that he's a role model for our younger kids in the community and in the area, saying, "Hey, he did, he could do both of those." And you see all those quotes from a lot of people all the time, how they have played multiple sports, and that's what he did. But ultimately, he went with what's the best going to get him to hopefully into the professional ranks, and hopefully he does a great job at Illinois. I've had many people look at him when I talk. They talk. He goes, he could be a pro someday. So I go, well, we're happy that he's here at high school now. He's going to be a high school player, and then be an outstanding college player, and then let the chips fall where they may.
Now, Davon, you get injured your freshman year, right? Because I remember I covered you your freshman year in basketball with the radio station, and I'm like, oh, this kid's going to play football too? And then I assumed you'd be a wide receiver, which you were. But then that first game, you put a smackdown. It was against Sycamore, and you put a smackdown on the quarterback, Bert Goucher, and I was like, oh, Davon can play defense as well. What side of the ball do you prefer?
Offense.
So you do prefer the offense, okay.
Yes. When I youth football, I've actually played defensive end, and I was very, very nice at it.
Okay.
And I was like one of the best defensive ends.
I believe it. But you weren't as comfortable in that position?
It's not as much as comfortability. It's more of like a preference.
Okay.
I just preferred offensive more.
And you got, I don't want to say you were thrown in, but you didn't have a lot of experience playing football in terms of a defensive back. And you didn't do bad. 4 interceptions, one you had for a 100-yard return. What was that like? Did you like playing the defense?
It was a challenge playing two ways.
Yeah.
Just because it beats your body up a lot more than it would one way. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Pete, we saw, who was it, Travis Hunter, the signing with the pros there. Of course, he got hurt, but, I mean, trying to do both, it's a lot on your plate, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I guess you can try it when you're young.
Yes.
That's why a lot of people don't do it, and you get those, outliers that can do that. But I just think whatever he puts his mind to, he's going to be successful, and he's got a great work ethic from his family. His mom worked for the post office, and I've had friends that work for there and said that's one of the toughest jobs I've ever had, and she's doing that to be a great role model for him and his sister and her younger. So really, really excited for him on that. That's what his best quality is that he's a hard worker.
I like that because I see that time and time again. And I want to talk about the U of Illinois and why you chose that, because it's not necessarily the football program, but more the family feel that you got when you were there. So I want to ask you about that. But let's talk about your basketball career at DeKalb High School. We could spend a whole day talking about that. But obviously, again, Boys Athlete of the Year twice with the Daily Chronicle. What was that like when you got the first one? And then when you got the second one, Davon, when you realized that I'm still a pretty good athlete?
The first time it meant a lot. I didn't really know what it was. I didn't really expect to get it. But,
how'd you find out about it? Who did somebody tell you? How'd you find out?
Eddie from the
Eddie from the Chronicle? Okay.
Yep, he told me. He texted me, told me. And, it was just an amazing feeling. I felt on top of the world when I got it.
I bet. And did you see the competition, the other players that might have gotten it? I mean, you were in some pretty good group there.
No, yeah. Sean most definitely could have got it. Durrell could have got it. A lot of athletes on our team could have got it. And I was fortunate enough to be one of those athletes that got it.
Oh, very well put there. And now talking about Coach Mike Reynolds, we did a quote. I did a podcast with Mike and Sean because of the uniqueness of the father and son coach, and of course Sean being the all-time scorer. And what was that like, relationship with Coach Reynolds?
Man, it was great. I felt like I felt like his son. I really did. He treated me like family. They all treated us like family, and it was just a very nice, close connection, and it felt very nice.
Tell us about the other coaches. I know Coach Davenport and some of the other. Tell us about what that influence had, because people don't realize what the assistant coaches mean to you guys as well, right?
Remember
they
Coach
mean a lot.
Davenport. This is PG, so remember.
No, actually, it's podcast. You can say whatever the hell you want.
Then you can have Mr. Davenport.
Yeah. Davenport, man, he's a lot. He's a lot. We love him. We love him to death, but he is a lot. He's a lot. He's a character for sure. And that's what's so great about him, Like he's consistent, even on his bad days. You'll know if he's having a bad day, but he tries to make sure he doesn't let that get in the way of him coaching
And I noticed he coaches you during the game. Did that bother you? Like, at the timeout, he'd come and say something to you with something that just happened. Was that helpful to get that immediate response like that?
No, yeah, it's very helpful. A lot of athletes can't be like nowadays aren't really coachable. They always have something to say back and everything like that. So the way I was raised and everything, it was just not to talk back to coaches, just be coachable and just listen. Just stay quiet, listen. If they ask for a response, then you respond, So just being able to be coachable and everything really helped and shaped me into that basketball player I was.
That's right. Very, very few athletes say that they listen. That's a great point, Davon, because it's so they got things to say. They got to talk about themselves. And I never heard somebody say listen. Jackson Key, Justin O'Neill, talk about some of the other teammates that you had that you guys were. What a run you guys had there with them.
Man, love that dude, man. I don't really stay in touch with Jackson Keys as much as I do with Justin, but Jackson, he was a great athlete. Dual sport as well, and being able to share the court with him was amazing. With Justin, same thing. He's like my brother.
Yeah.
So we're very close and everything. So being able to play with him until he left, it was something amazing for me.
Now, Pete referred to the modern athlete or the new athlete, and one of the things I notice about the young people I talk to, young athletes, is that they're taking time to enjoy it. They're realizing that this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and, have you taken time to enjoy your success? Have you had a chance?
No.
I was saying, you don't seem like you're too hard of a worker to just get right after it there.
No, to be honest, I haven't. Because my dad, he's always told me, you could have this, and that, but always want more. Always strive to be better.
Okay.
So, I never really took the time to enjoy everything that I've done, Once I graduate, I'm going to most definitely take the time to enjoy and reflect on my high school career. But, once that time comes, that's when I'll do it. Right now, I'm still focusing on working.
That's a great answer. Pete, what about that with the kids and the athlete and the pressure that they're on? Do you have counseling for athletes?
Well, there's a program that we use called the Honest Game. It was made up by some counselors up in Evanston, I believe, to where, when we knew that we thought that he's going to be a Division I athlete, and really we want everybody to go through it, but it kind of shows them what they need to do and if they need this type of, mental health or anything like that, it's accessible to them. So that's a real good program that we have. But
what's that called again, Pete?
On the Honest Game.
The Honest Game. I like that.
It's really made out of a counselor up at Evanston.
Okay.
I can't remember her name right now, but I listened to her speak at, I think, one of the state conferences or the national conference I was at. And when Illinois, you always want to give Illinois people that, second look.
Right.
And we did, and it's a great program that's really starting to help a lot of our, just not our student athletes. We tell everybody to go through because it helps them how to do, put together a resume, the classes that they need to take. That's the first thing we did with him. Hey, we got to make sure you have the classes so you can get into college. And that's what that program does. And our counselors do a great job with it.
That's great. What a great program that is. Now, still with basketball, lots of championships. I know your hometown means a lot to you, Davon, and you won the Chuck Dayton tournament. What was that like to win the Chuck Dayton tournament home on your home court like that?
Man, it was amazing. Being able to, once again, share the floor with all my seniors and previous seniors. It was amazing just being a kid that just came out of middle school and being able to do what I did on that basketball court to help us win that Chuck Dayton tournament. It was a great feeling.
And Pete, you get some good talent coming in there, so it's not like just some gimme tournament, is it?
No, it's 98th year this year.
Yeah.
So 99th years next year, and then I retire, so I want to be there for the 100th.
Oh, very good.
But the thing of it is, it's a great. I mean, what people say about us is how friendly our people are at the school and in the community, and we bring these people in. A lot of people come in from the suburbs. They think Iowa's just on the other side of Aurora, and they don't know that out here in DeKalb, it's a great place. One of the writers from the Sun-Times walked into our gym one time and goes, "Holy smokes," because we have all the nice things that we are able to do because of all the hard work we do for these tournaments and the community that supports us. We're able to do nice things and make, kind of DeKalb an oasis. Out here in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I like that a lot, too. And what about rivalries, Davon? Obviously, Sycamore, I think, would be the number one. Did you know those players well, having played them for the 3 years that you've seen them? What was that like?
Yeah. Yeah, I've known some of them for sure. Rivalries, I don't really get caught up in that.
Okay.
Because all it is just a whole lot of trash talk on social media and just bashing each other's name. And like I understand crosstown rivals,
Right.
everything, but I feel like DeKalb basketball, and I feel like my friend Billy Miller could most definitely agree with me. On this.
Okay.
We have way more better rivalries with schools that's not even on crosstown rivals.
Okay, so who would you consider your number one rivalry then?
Me, I would say Wabanzi.
Wabanzi, okay.
Me personally, I'd say Wabanzi.
All right.
Billy, he'll most definitely say like Harlem, Huntley.
Okay.
Huntley for sure, most likely. But he might agree with me with Wabanzi.
So are you more excited for those games? Do you get a little more pumped up when
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially this previous year, being able to split the DVC championship going 1-1 against Wabanzi that year. It was amazing. I was very hyped up for that game.
I bet. Yeah.
So,
And of course, it's not all part. We have to admit, how many missed dunks do we have, Davon? I saw at least a couple back in the day, but what is it like when you miss a dunk? Is it because it's just as spectacular as if you made it, actually, for we fans.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't feel no type of way about it. Like, yeah, I'm a little bit embarrassed because this is my main thing right here. But
let's just go on to the next thing.
The only reason why I miss it is because I put too much on it. I'm just trying to break the rim. When I dunk, I take all the aggression out on the rim.
Okay.
That's when I hold my breath. I didn't have one already.
So yeah.
Now, I see, your freshman year, you averaged 14.7 rebounds. It's about the same thing your junior year as well. Very consistent. And talk about the rebounding, how important that is, and why you took that as an important thing.
It was very important because the rebounding was the thing that led to our offense and being able to consistently beat
Get the
these
ball out,
teams
huh?
and get the ball out.
And you guys never seem to have a problem sharing the basketball. You had, some great scorers on that team, but I never saw anybody calling for the ball or saying they weren't getting it.
Yeah, no, not at all. My dad yells at me for passing the ball too much. But, it's just one of those things that, like, if my shot's a good shot, but, we have somebody on the outside with a better shot, just get the better shot. If he misses it, he misses it. Even if I know I'm going to make the shot. It's always better to get the better shot, just so.
That's great. Now, will you come back with Coach Reynolds and when you have time and help him with the team, or just going to give him some advice? Because I'm sure the kids would love to hear from you. Seriously.
No, yeah, for sure. I'll most definitely call in whenever I can't come, but I'll be here for some games for sure.
Okay.
So, because I believe I should be leaving after New Year's. So
Okay.
I have a lot of time to still be with the basketball program and still be around and watch.
That's great. And Pete, you see a lot of former players come back, don't you?
We do, and that's really what's great about it. And on December 19th, we're going to kind of give Davon a little send-off. I don't know if he knows that.
No,
Hey,
But we're going to give him a little send-off and acknowledge the things that he has done for the basketball program in his 3 years that he's able to do. So, yes, we have a Wall of Fame, and we're kind of starting a new tradition this year, bring kids back that made All-State and did some special things that put them up on the wall. We're going to do that this year and acknowledge them in front of the hometown crowd. I think some of them are going to be that, we got to have them when they get back from school.
Right.
But I think that's one of the nights we're going to try to hit too.
Well, because it makes perfect sense. Because we watch Davon when he gets all the success he has. I want to do exactly what he did, right, to get to where he was at.
Exactly.
That's great. That's a great thing. Now, Cole Latimer, I want to mention that we're going to have Cole on because I was talking about Sean Reynolds and it being coached by his dad, and of course Cole is the same deal, coached by his dad on the baseball team. I see Cole is staying locally here, but I was just reading an article about the quarterback and the wide receiver and the relationships, how important that is. And tell us about Cole and you as a wide receiver. What kind of relationship did you have with Cole as a quarterback?
Oh, yeah. So we've been playing together since youth football.
Oh, okay.
So,
really? Wow.
So, yeah. But I wasn't a receiver during youth football. I was actually running back.
Okay.
So I made the change middle school just because I knew I got way too big to be running back.
Okay.
So,
and playing with Cole, what was that like all those years?
Man, it was amazing. It's amazing, Cole, once again, he's like a brother to me. We built the bond since youth and everything, and we've been able to stay that close. For the longest, we don't really talk that much anymore. Like, we still talk during school, outside of school a little bit.
Okay.
The communication just dropped the older we got just because we've all been busy doing our own things.
And Davon, I followed this when a very interesting article about you getting drafted by the University of Illinois, and it says why did Davon Grant go to Illinois? And the quote they have from you is, being an in-state player, it really means a lot to me. Why does that mean a lot to you? Why not go to another state and play football there?
I mean, Illinois was the first school to give me an offer. So the fact that they was able to give me that offer, it means that they see something in me and that no other school has seen yet, and being in-state and everything and being able to play for your in-state school, it just, there's just something about it, just something mesmerizing about being able to go stay in-state and just compete for your state.
Now, you were the first one in that recruiting class. If I have that right here, now I find it. And a great little article about you, how Illinois football committed Davon Grant decided on Illini. And what was that like when they were coming after you there? Because Pete, let me ask you that. How do they approach an athlete like Davon? They have to be very careful how they do this, right?
Yeah, my office was really busy. I mean, I've worn the Michigan national championship ring. A lot of people that I've known through other stops in my life, we all had those connections. Coach Bielema grew up in Prophetstown, Illinois, which is in the same county where I grew up. But there was one team, and they're very successful right now. They might be rated number 1 in the nation. Sitting in my office waiting for Davon to come down, and he goes, "What can you tell me about? What can you tell me about this kid?" I go, "Well, he was waiting here for the first time. He was doing his, I think, stats or something." And I just stopped and goes, "That's all I needed to know." So they do a lot of talking to coaches, and knowing Coach Weber used to go talk to the custodians and tell me, "What can you tell me about that?"
Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, because they're the ones that are going to be the truth tellers. And so, and that's the thing, is that we never had to lie or anything about Davon or anybody that comes in. We just tell them the truth, and that's what coaches appreciate. And I think Dre Brown had a big part of an ex-Barb coming in and recruit him, but now I think he's at USC.
He is, yeah.
So, but
That was a great story, though. So that's an ex-Barb that helped recruit you at Davon at the University of Illinois.
yep, and we had him. I gave him a DeKalb shirt. He put on the one Barb, and he loved it. He loves DeKalb. And Coach Bielema was really excited. I've met Coach Bielema before through the IADA. We had him come speak at our conference. So, he played with my brother at the University of Iowa as well. But they come through and they're asking a lot of questions. And there was just a lot of. It was easy to talk about Davon because you see what you get. And, he's talking about, listen, as coaches, we call it coachable. And when you tell a college recruit that you have coachable kids, they're really excited.
I love it. That's great. Very well put there, too. So, again, I want to talk about the recruiting process, because you had many offers. So there was a little timeline. This just goes back to October 2023, but they had the Akron Zips, then the Iowa Hawkeyes came after you, the Wisconsin Badgers, Marshall Thunder Herd came, and then the Minnesota Golden Gophers, NIU. You had an offer from them, but then ultimately you commit to U of I. Did you go to those other schools, Devon? Did you go to Wisconsin or Illinois?
I've went to Wisconsin, Iowa. Marshall was kind of out the way. I tried to get up to Minnesota a couple of times. Just couldn't because ride situation, everything like that. And then Akron is up in Ohio. I was in Ohio once, so I did visit the facilities, but this is way before I got an offer.
Was there any unique school, something not on this list, something other than a Big Ten school that you thought, well, that might be interesting to do that, go play football there?
Yeah, I had some interest from Duke and some other schools. My grandpa, he's a big-time Duke fan. So, He
wouldn't have been upset if you went, huh?
No, he not at all.
And Pete, what are your thoughts on that? Like, instead of going to a program like Illinois, he goes to Duke, he stars there, right? And then he certainly would get just as much recognition as the U of I, or would he?
It's not the Big Ten.
No, I was going to say
you got a chance to go to the Big Ten. You go to the Big Ten. And I had a former athlete who played for me, Joseph Bertrand, who went to Illinois because he wanted to be the next D. Brown. And there's something about staying in your home state. And I think there was a recruit one time that was, I knew him, played for one of my friends' team. And I know Illinois was heavy on it, but he eventually went to Stanford. And
Okay.
There's something about playing for your home state.
Yeah.
And that's what I always said. You know, I was happy. You talk about Minnesota, another Illinois coach, a kid, PJ Fleck, here in this.
Oh, another
area.
great story. Yeah.
So that's the success, and they can tell him, and Coach Bielema will be able to say, "Hey, I've lived I've been in your shoes and stuff like that." So I just think it's exciting for Illinois. Unfortunately, after Saturday, I think they need Davon to get down there.
They do.
So it should be exciting, and it's fun to watch. How many times that I was able to sit and watch one of my former players, not even play in the Arch Madness, the Missouri shootout with Illinois, watching them play at Madison Square Garden. We're going to be able to watch him, hopefully play for a national championship at Illinois.
Yeah.
I think that's where Coach Bielema is really trying to take that program, and we're excited to see where Davon goes.
Well, I know he's going to be going to California, right, with the new schedule there. I see you guys will be going to California at least once next year there. Well, what about the portal? And Davon, you don't have to answer that if you don't want to, but I think many of us fans, we don't like the portal because, a kid can play 1 year and then boom, he's off to somewhere else. But you as a player going in, do you like that portal? Do you like the idea? I don't see you ever leaving U of L, Illinois, but do you like the idea of having that option?
I mean, yeah, because it gives athletes and players at other colleges the opportunity to leave a situation that they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like with the portal, it's a great opportunity for other players and people to be able to have the opportunity to just show their talents at a better school.
That's a great answer. Yeah, I never thought of it that way. That's a great way to look at it. So how about the recruiting process? Tell about that. Now, do these come in emails, Pete, or does Davon get letters in the mail, or how do you?
It's usually letters a lot, but it's different ways now. It's through social media, and when I was coaching, it was always the letter, and you'd give it to them, and
right.
They could only talk to us, and as a coach, and there's only certain times that you could talk to them, but now it's just a whole different ballgame.
And how did your family handle it, Davon? Because are they allowed to approach Davon's family, or how does that work in terms of?
You know what? I don't even know really. I think mostly it has to go through through your coach, and things are set up where they get that official visit, or they can do those in-home visits. There's still stuff like that.
Okay.
Most of the time, you still have to follow that NCAA rule, but there's different ways to communicate through social media, through X and Instagram and all that stuff. But I think everybody who recruited Davon was very cordial and very matter of fact, and just really they told the truth. So that's what we like to see as athletic directors and coaches. People still doing it the right way.
Yeah, very good. And Davon, what about your family now? Were they there with the recruiting process, or your mom? Did she want to sit in on that, or what was that like for them?
My father had more insight on that.
Okay.
So he kind of had to help my mom understand some of the things as well as I had to.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. Like being able, just having all these coaches reach out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And just try to talk to you, asking you a lot of questions. It could become overwhelming.
I bet.
Sure.
But I'm sure your family kept you grounded. And did your siblings want you to go to a different school? Was there one that they were all?
No, they didn't even care.
Okay.
No.
And you have Coach Sheehan and Coach Reynolds who've all handled this. That were also a good, very sounding board for the family.
Okay, and
for Davon.
I'm glad we called it a segue in the business because the family. Here's another quote from Davon. I chose Illinois because they made sure I knew I was the main priority for them. I really do appreciate that. The environment during game day visits, when I was up there, it felt nice and at home and welcome. The games, the environment, how everybody, win or lose, they were all looking out for each other, all supporting each other on game day, and they all are looking out for each other. So, you don't talk about the program so much, the football team, as the family. I love that, Davon, and that really means a lot to you.
No, yeah, because being at a young age, Illinois was not a great football team at all. So I wasn't really focused on them at a young age. At a young age, playing sports and everything, I was like, man, I want to go to Clemson or something like that,
Uh-huh.
So, but being able to see what Coach Bielema has done and the way he brought together the football team, but not only the football team, but the students and the fans and everything, being able to be in the program and presence of a coach like that, I feel like that's an opportunity I shouldn't pass up. So
Wow, that's awesome, man. Again, I'm going to let you guys go. I know you're in a hurry to get out of here, but I want to mention the NIL, Pete. For folks that don't know, that's names, image, and likeness for athletes there. For example, endorsements, autographs, personal appearances. How about I have to pay you for? Do I have to pay you for this yet or no? But tell us about the NIL, and what do you tell Davon in terms of how to maximize his own profit?
Well, he and I kind of talked about it on the way here because signing dates on Wednesday, and we got to look over some paperwork and make sure we're doing things the right way. And even the NIL has crept into high school, where if Davon wanted to, like, say, a water company or something,
Right, so he started his
like
own
that.
business. That's an example.
But the thing of it is that through high school he wouldn't be able to have anything DeKalb on. It would have to be like a plain uniform.
Oh,
to
okay.
endorse that. And I think that's the difference between college and high school. Well, when I was in college, we were lucky to get $10 to go eat at the Ponderosa. And I usually had to hand out the money for the basketball team at SIU. So it's a different world.
Well, you remember Garrett Wolf, the outstanding
Yes.
running back for
Yeah.
NIU. And I remember at one point during his career, they had a huge cutout of Garrett, and he was in the banks and stuff. They put it in various places around the city. And I'm like, Garrett's not getting one penny out of that, is he?
No, you don't get to do that. I can remember I said water company. One of my players at Sterling's uncle owned a water company, and they had a picture of his nephew on the truck.
Uh-huh.
And I had to say, hey, you got to take that off. But I think we were all right because someone, I think, turned us in. And I don't know idea what he's doing. And then when they found out it was his uncle, he says, okay, you guys got to take that off.
And have you thought about that at all, Davon? Because, locally here, boy, if you wanted to write a book or something, people would jump on that. Have you thought about making some money while you're in college?
no, yeah, for sure. But I don't think it's legal in Illinois.
Okay.
For student athletes, high school student athletes to get paid from NIL and everything.
All right.
I believe it's not.
That is homework.
believe
You could, but there's a lot of
restrictions
hoops to
and
jump.
Okay.
everything you got to get through.
One, he couldn't have anything DeKalb on.
And then finally, I want to wrap up here. We just talked to Coach Joe Ryan, and of course, two of his players have made it to the NFL. And I looked up what percentage of high school football players make it to the pros. Roughly speaking, 1,883,308 high school players competing. Eventually, 251 will make it to the pros. That calculation results in a chance of approximately 0.023%. Not an encouraging number for anyone thinking about a professional football career. But you're thinking about it, but you also have an alternative, right? In 10 years from now, if you weren't playing pro football, what do you see yourself doing, Davon? What would be the perfect gig for you?
That's a question I've gotten a lot, and I've given so many different answers to that question.
Well, things change, right?
But
Yeah.
exactly. So either I would be an entrepreneurship or entrepreneur, and either have hopefully my own business or be an influence on the side of having my own business and everything,
Okay.
and then or go to Illinois, do all that, become a podcast, like get a podcast.
Oh, there,
do
I knew
something
the
like
podcast
that.
was coming.
Yeah,
All right.
because of the communication minor that'll come in, or be able to be on those pregame talk shows
Right.
and stuff like that with that degree, with that minor.
Do you want to do play-by-play as well? You thought about that?
I haven't actually really thought about that. That's something I might start thinking about too.
Okay.
Or I just don't want to be away from sports.
Yeah.
Once I'm done. So
Ask him what he and I talked about right when we walked in. What did I say to you?
he said, focus on your education. You need something to fall back on.
There you go.
So,
Right
Well,
when
there
we
you because
walked in.
0.023% are going to make the pros there. So
But you've got to look at. I know 3 people that have been in the pros. My brother, and then the Neiman's over
Right.
at
Ben and Nick
Sycamore.
Neiman, yeah.
And then they had the one with NIU who played for San Francisco. I can't think his name.
I know what you mean too, and I can't think of it either.
He made the pro. I mean, he was in there for a little bit. He was one of the last ones to get cut.
But Davon, when you look at that, when you look at a school like Sycamore High School and they produce 2 NFL athletes, does that encourage you to, maybe I could make the big show after all?
I mean, yeah. I also have family that's professional. I have uncle that's playing overseas basketball.
Is that right?
Yes, and then my dad's god brother, so my god uncle, Jeff Allen, he played with the Chiefs for 9 years, and then
Okay.
no, he played with the Chiefs for 7 years, and then the Texans 3. So
And you said, would you maybe go play in Canada or maybe at a European football league as they getting underway?
yeah,
Chance to get paid to play football?
exactly.
Yeah.
If I'm not ready to be away from football, then I'll most definitely take one of those routes.
That's great. And how are you feeling? How are we okay? Are we all good to go with you had that injury your freshman year, but everything pretty good health wise?
Yeah, nothing's wrong, nothing happened. So
That's great. Pete, as we wrap things up, what do you want to say about this guy too? Because I want to leave Davon the final word and talk to the folks, the fans in DeKalb that have been so thrilled with your years for the 4 years that you've been here. What do you want to say about this guy?
Just kind of what I say to all of, I mean, like I've already said, coachable, personable, and a great kid. Like I told the coach at Ohio State, he was working on his stats. So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he goes, "Why do I need this?" I go, "You'll need it." Stuff like that. And he's just, he's a great kid. And yes, we'd love to see him in that basketball uniform, but you have to do what's best for you and your family. And we just wish him nothing but the best. And I feel honored that we were able to cross paths. So that's what I would say to him, that I feel honored that I've been able to work with him the last 3-4 years.
Very well put. That's Peter Goff, the DeKalb Athletic Director. And to give you, Davon, the last word, you've thrilled a lot of people through the years here at DeKalb, and I know they love you. And what do you want to tell them, to the fans here in DeKalb?
Just whatever you put your mind to, you could do it. But it's not easy. Nothing in life is easy. So you will go through challenges. You will have hard times and hardships, But as long as you keep your head up and you keep pushing through those, you'll be able to do whatever you want to do.
Did you practice that one? Because that's a really good one, Dave. Save that one, because that's a great answer. We thank you, sir, for your time, and we are thrilled at what you're about to endeavor. Will you promise to come back and do this little rinky-dinky podcast? What's your big time, man?
Yeah, I'll come back.
All right, I got that on tape. All right, so again, we are thrilled to have Davon Grant as our guest here this morning. Again, the University of Illinois, going to be in a standout there. And Peter Goff, Pete, thanks for making this happen. We appreciate that. And I know there's going to be a lot of people knocking on Davon's door here.
Yeah. And he's got a great head on his shoulders, and he's always going to do what's right for him and his family.
All right, let's leave it at that. And that's TD Ryan Unleashed podcast, Sports Bonus podcast number 3.
TD Ryan Unleashed is brought to you by Scott Zyman, your State Farm insurance agent. Scott can help you save money bundling your home and auto insurance. Call 815-748-3101 or stop by at 2587 Sycamore Road, Suite D in DeKalb. Like a good neighbor, Scott Zyman and State Farm are there. Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more at 824 West Lincoln Highway in DeKalb. For delivery or pickup, call 815-758-8116 or go to pizzavilla.com. My Insurance Guys in Sycamore, family-owned, local, reliable. My Insurance Guys cover Medicare to auto and everything in between. Call us in Sycamore at 815-899-0950. My Insurance Guy. Business, auto, home, life, and health at myinsuranceguy.com. And Elder Care Services of DeKalb County. Safe, secure, and supported. Helping you stay at home where you want to be. Call 815-758-6550 or stop in at 1701 East Lincoln Highway in DeKalb or on the web at ecsdecalb.org.